This is what I learned at the protest. White people born in America protest differently than people of color and other people not born in America.
He's just walking. It's my 3rd Amendment, my 9th Amendment. He knew the amendments. It's my 45th Amendment, right?
That is comedian Maz Jobrani, one of the stars of TV's Superior Donuts, yes.
But now through July 3rd, he's taking the stage at the Laugh Factory inside the Tropicana. Welcome to the show.
Yes, hello.
Thanks for having me, you guys. How are you?
Excited.
Do you come to Las Vegas often? I know you got 2 kids, so when you come here, do you bring the kids?
Oh yeah, actually I'm here with my my wife and my kids and my nephew. So we have 3 kids with us, my wife, and then my wife's parents' 50th anniversary, so it's a family reunion.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and my wife is Indian originally, born in India, and I was born in Iran. And both of our kids look like her, which I say there's a reason why there's a billion Indians in the world. Their genes are so dominant that anyone sees with an Indian, the kids are coming out Indian. So that's what we have. And yeah, we're all here right now and enjoying the heat in Vegas.
And we're going to enjoy you on stage at the Laugh Factory at the Tropicana.
Yes.
So what can we expect from the show?
You know, I do a lot of material about my kids. I also do a lot of political stuff. Being an Iranian American, you got to talk a lot about you know, what's going on in the world these days, right? I talk about how Iran, as you guys know, is in the travel ban. Thank you very much. Calm down. Yes, thank you, people. And it's just it's you know, it's a time where there's a lot of material. You know, with Trump, a lot of people ask me, they go, Trump must be good for comedy. I tell them actually he's really hard because it's hard to keep up with him because he says so much crazy stuff every day. You know what I'm saying?
It's nonstop.
It's nonstop.
When you arrived here in the States, 6 years old.
Yes.
Was it hard to adjust to American culture, or was that an easy change for you?
You know, as a kid, for me, it was fine because we moved from Iran to America. We ended up in New York at first for just a little bit. And my father at the time was doing business, and he was staying at the Plaza Hotel in New York City. And back then, FAO Schwartz was still open.
Oh, my goodness, with the Barbie room.
Best toy store in the world. So I leave Iran, I mean, like, there was a revolution going on, but I'm like, oh, this toy store across from my hotel. What a great country.
Great. America's awesome.
America! You know, I didn't know. But, yeah, I adjusted pretty easy. I think my parents probably had a harder time, obviously, you know. And I talk about, actually, again, in my act, I talk about how growing up, I grew up in Northern California, Marin County. And I talk about how recently I was at my kids' school for a fundraiser, and I felt bad for a second. I go, wait a minute, my parents never came to any of my school events. And I go, wait a minute, I didn't want them to come to my school events because I had immigrant parents. I was trying to blend in with all the other kids. When your immigrant parents show up, they blow your cover, you know? So it was harder for them, I think.
A friend of mine, I had dinner with on Saturday night, read your book. And I told him you were coming on. He said to ask you about your weird connection to Jimmy Fallon.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a long one. So this is very weird. So when I was a kid, when I was in the 4th grade, the hostage situation happened. For anyone in their 20s who's watching this, there was a hostage crisis that happened. A lot of 20-year-olds don't know about this stuff. But as an Iranian, I came from Iran to America, and then the Iranian government took Americans hostage. So suddenly we're here, and we're like, we're getting beaten up for things that government that we left is doing. So I was in the 4th grade, and there was a 6th grader who was bullying me at the time, and his name was Jim Javonin. And I'm sure he's a nice guy now. I mean, I don't know, but back then I was getting bullied. And so one day I was listening to the radio, and Jimmy Fallon was on, and they were interviewing him, and then he said, yeah, you know, this and that, and I met my wife, Nancy Javonin. And I go, wait a minute, well, that's not a very common last name. So I looked it up. Jim Javonin is Nancy's brother. Jimmy Fallon's brother-in-law is the guy who bullied me.
Was your grade school bully?
Yes. So there he is. Yes.
Do we have time to do a quick game before we wrap
I would love
things
to
up?
do a game, yes.
It's called the 5-second movie summary.
Okay.
We throw a movie your way.
All right.
You give us the 5-second summary of that movie.
Here we go.
Movie number 1, Frozen.
Frozen, it's about a cartoon character that freezes.
What about Star Wars?
Star Wars, it's about a guy with a lightsaber who finds out his dad is a bad guy, but then he becomes a good guy.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is the DeLorean car, the guy who snorted too much cocaine.
Rocky.
Rocky was a guy who was a boxer, a white guy who beat a black guy.
What?
And the last one, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, dinosaurs, and the big dinosaurs, and they're dead now.
We love having you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Real
guys.
quick, though, you talk about your kids. Our co-host just had a baby. Any advice?
Oh, yes. Whatever you do with the baby to put your baby to sleep, get used to it. Babies get used to routine. So if you're going to sing to the baby, you're going to have to sing every night. My wife and I, we messed up. We used to give our little baby girl a massage every night.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so for
she's
her,
living the life.
yeah, every night was a spa treatment.
Oh, my goodness.
My mom did the same thing, so now, as a grown adult, she still has to come in.
Please. All right, get to the Laugh Factory at Tropicana, Las Vegas. Maz is performing through July 3rd. You can go to laughfactory.com for more information. All right.